Israel just humiliated Donald Trump in a major way, and the administration's narrative just came flying apart. A warning going into this report: watch for flying orange debris. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. We have breaking news at this hour regarding Donald Trump's unprompted strikes against 3 nuclear facilities in the nation of Iran. That attack transpired on June 22nd when the U.S. dropped bunker-buster bombs on 3 sites in the nation. The attack came as a huge shock to the intelligence community, since it had determined that while Iran had enriched uranium, it was not trying to build a nuclear weapon. Trump also shrugged off intelligence officials who warned that the attack was less than effective.
Tonight, a high-stakes moment on the world stage. President Trump standing alongside America's NATO allies, insisting U.S. strikes on 3 facilities have obliterated Iran's nuclear program.
But tonight, there are growing questions that may not be the case. Intelligence officials tell ABC News 2 key locations may have survived the assault, and that Iran may have moved at least some of its uranium stockpile before the strikes. Despite these reports, the president is pushing back.
It was very successful. It was called obliteration. We think we hit them so hard and so fast they didn't get to move.
In the wake of the attack, American intelligence officials warned that Iran likely moved its enriched uranium prior to the attack due to an Israeli onslaught and suspicions that Trump might attack the sites. For that reason, the bombing set off major discussion and criticism in the United States, since the president does not have authority to attack another nation without congressional approval unless there is an imminent threat. Given that U.S. intel suggested Iran was not building a bomb, that brought up issues surrounding the legality of the bombing. Nevertheless, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu gushed over Trump's attack on Iran, something the Prime Minister had tried to organize for years. And in the most ironic twist, this week Netanyahu visited Washington and offered this boon.
I want to present to you, Mr. President, the letter I sent to the Nobel Prize Committee. It's nominating you for the Peace Prize, which is well-deserved, and you should get it.
Thank you very much. This I didn't know. Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Coming from you in particular, this is very meaningful. Thank you very much, Bibi.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you. It's a great honor.
And I think we can work out a peace between us and the entire Middle East.
So how exactly is Israel dropping a bomb on Trump if Netanyahu just nominated him for the Nobel Prize? Before we go there, can we all just take a moment to contemplate the irony here? Netanyahu thinks Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize for an act of violence against another nation. Apparently, Netanyahu's sense of irony is about as big as his sense of decency, and roughly the same size as Trump's manhood. Moving on. Trump has made no secret of his desire for a Nobel Prize, so much so that Pakistan nominated him for negotiating a ceasefire between India and Pakistan that Trump actually had no involvement in, and now Netanyahu wants to nominate him for a legally dubious attack. Although today, it looks like Netanyahu may have just tried to cushion a scathing blow from his own government. The New York Times now reports that unnamed Israeli officials have confirmed that Iran's uranium did indeed survive the United States bombing of its 3 nuclear sites. The same sources claim that the facility at Isfahan was buried too far underground for even bunker-buster bombs to destroy it. Israeli officials further said they believe that Iran has other secret centrifuges hidden all over the country, and that Iran could continue its uranium enrichment in the near future. So, in other words, the attack did little to dissuade Iran from building a nuclear weapon. If anything, it might have actually encouraged Iran to build the bomb, since it easily could have built it in the past. As we reported on this channel, the 60% enrichment of the uranium does not make it weapons grade. The Iranians could have continued to enrich it to the 90% level needed for a bomb, but chose not to, likely fearing attacks by Israel and the United States. It's as if the Iranians wanted to have a bargaining chip on hand by threatening further enrichment. The same New York Times article also notes that the Atomic Energy Agency also claims that it has evidence the uranium was likely moved prior to the attack, an assertion Trump himself may have supported. Again, see our other videos for more on all that. For now, it looks like Trump's attack on Iran was a fruitless failure, and that it has encouraged the Iranians to eschew diplomacy and further enrich its uranium in secret. and nobody knows how soon they could actually do so. And Trump will have to admit failure if he wants to stay involved in this mess. In other words, this movie isn't over yet. Count on us here at Occupy Democrats to keep you updated on this and all other important breaking stories. I'm David Reddish.